Today is June 30th, and if you're only looking at the calendar, you've already missed the point. Did you feel it today? Not in the news headlines or the noise on the street, but in the air itself, a different quality to the silence, a hum beneath the surface of things. Maybe it was a sudden wave of clarity that cut through your mental fog, or a moment of profound stillness that caught you off guard. That wasn't a fluke. It's not your imagination playing tricks, it is the primary signal. The universe doesn't send out press releases, it speaks in frequency, in vibration, and today, June 30th, that frequency has changed. For those who have been cultivating awareness, the shift is undeniable. It's not an emotion you can name, like happiness or sadness. It's a deep cellular knowing, a quiet, firm knock on the inner door, and here is the simple, hard truth. The main event has already begun, but the vast majority will overlook it. Why? Because we've been conditioned to search for thunder, but the truth arrived as a whisper. We've been told the great rapture is a spectacle in the sky, a dramatic vanishing act. But the real rapture is not an escape, it is an unveiling. It is the moment you become transparent to yourself. The instant you can no longer lie about your own energy. It's the stark realization that the clock is ticking, not on the world, but on your chance to wake up from your own dream. This period is a grace period, a crack in the matrix for you to slip through. The energy of June 30th isn't loud or demanding, it's surgical, it's precise. If you found just 5 minutes of quiet today, you felt it. A brief interruption in your programming, a space between your repetitive thoughts. That small gap is everything. It's the entry point for a new life trajectory. But life doesn't pause for your awakening. The world, your duties, your habits, they will continue to pull at you. Today, however, there is a clear invitation. It's subtle, it's gentle, but it is unmistakable. You can continue to drown it out, or you can pause right now and ask, where is my life force truly going? Too many are waiting for a perfect sign to begin their inner work. But June 30th is the sign, and it didn't wait for you. It's here. The only question is, are you? Energy shifts don't ask for your vote. They don't consult your schedule. They operate on a higher law. And one of those laws is that nothing is permanent. This clarity, this alignment, this opportunity, it is fleeting. If you do not anchor it today, it will drift away. So, what is the work? It's brutally simple. Be still. Feel the breath move in your body. Watch the mind's theater without buying a ticket. Take off the social mask. Just sit. Not for hours. Start with a single honest breath, because one moment of raw self-honesty is more potent than a decade of spiritual performance. The energy of June 30th acts like a filter, separating the real from the artificial. You're already seeing it. People around you are either more centered or more scattered. Some are finding their ground, others are spinning out. Some feel a deep calm, others are fracturing. This is the evidence. It doesn't arrive with a trumpet sound. It simply reveals the truth of where everyone stands with themselves. Stop waiting for another sign, another teacher. The lesson is happening in your own skin, right now. If you missed it this morning, there's still a sliver of time. But the window is not wide. It's a narrow passage, and you must walk through it with intention, today. You don't need to have a grand plan. You don't need to solve your entire life. You just need to notice. Notice your breath. Notice your choices. Notice which way your energy is flowing. This noticing is the seed of all true change. The frequency of June 30th is not here to frighten you. It's here to sober you up, to bring you back to what is essential. And what's essential isn't what you've accomplished, what you possess, or the image you project. What's essential is your ability to hold your center in a storm, to be the calm eye when the winds of chaos blow, to stay rooted when the ground of your life feels like it's shaking. This isn't a beautiful theory. This is the practice. This is your training ground. And today, June 30th, is the day. If you listen, really listen, your own inner guidance is speaking. If you sit, your breath will show you the way back to now. If you stay aware, this energetic tide will lift you. But if you keep rushing, keep avoiding, keep pretending, this signal will pass you by. And you won't realize what you've lost until it's long gone. The opportunity will have vanished. So, just for a moment, stop. Because today is June 30th, and something is different. Something is calling you home, not from the outside, but from the deepest part of you. Will you answer? Today is June 30th, and while the world is locked in its usual rhythm, a more profound event is unfolding. Not up in the heavens, but right here, in the space you occupy. People talk about the rapture like it's a cosmic evacuation, a grand cinematic event where people are beamed off the planet. The truth is, the real rapture isn't about being taken away. It's about having everything false taken away from you. It's the moment the masks melt, the moment you see your own reflection without the filters of your stories, your ego, your lies. On June 30th, this is the true sign something within you is being laid bare. And for those with eyes to see, it's a sight you can't unsee. The rapture is not an external show, it is an internal reckoning. It's a spotlight being shown on the corners of your own being you've expertly avoided. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to show you what you've become. And that is deeply uncomfortable because most of us have built our identities on sand, on job titles, on possessions, on achievements, on the validation of others. But today, June 30th, none of that is strong enough to hold back the truth. The energy is too sharp. It's a blade that cuts through illusion. It strips away the counterfeit. And if you are not prepared, it feels like a collapse. But what's really happening is that only the illusions are collapsing, because June 30th isn't about global chaos. It's about a personal confrontation. As your inner defenses crumble, you finally see the architecture of your own mind. You see your loops, your patterns, how you use anger as a shield or distraction as an escape. And you start to hear your authentic voice, not the one conditioned by society, but the one that was there all along, buried under the noise. This is the rapture. It is exposure. There is no exit. Many are still waiting for a blockbuster event, a voice from the clouds, a miracle. But the ones who know, the real spectacle is in the silence. Because when the external static dies down and you are finally alone with yourself, your truth, your awareness, that is the moment the tectonic plates of your life begin to shift. Today, June 30th, you are being called to stop performing, stop hiding, stop running. Everything you believe yourself to be is being put to the test, not by some god, but by your own rising consciousness. This isn't a punishment, it's an invitation to remember who you were before you were told who you should be. But here's the catch. Most will refuse the invitation because the mask is comfortable, the performance is familiar, but comfort is not truth, and truth is rarely comfortable. On June 30th, comfort is being traded for clarity, a raw, piercing clarity, the kind that forces you to be still, the kind that demands deep reflection, the kind that makes pretending impossible. So ask yourself right now, who am I when the audience is gone? Who am I when my labels are stripped away? Who am I underneath the pride, the fear, the carefully crafted stories? The answer to that question is the rapture. The answer is the revelation. That is the gift of this day. Not demolition but revelation, and that is infinitely more powerful. You may be noticing things today, a heightened sensitivity, emotions surfacing for no apparent reason, old memories bubbling up, sudden flashes of insight. This is not arbitrary. This is the unveiling. This is your inner system recalibrating to the higher frequency of June 30th. You are being brought into alignment with your truth, and any part of you that is out of tune will start to vibrate uncomfortably. Don't fight it, witness it, let it come to the surface. And as it does, just breathe, because your breath is the anchor that keeps you in your body while your mind undergoes its transformation. If you run from this moment, it will only return, and with greater force. But if you sit with it today, if you allow yourself to feel it without judgment, the metamorphosis will begin. You don't need a special place for this. You don't need a guru. All you need is the courage to be honest with what is. Because today, June 30th, the mirror is wiped clean, the veil is at its thinnest, and your true self is ready to be seen. The only question is, are you brave enough to look? We've been conditioned to fear judgment. But the energy of this day is not here to judge. It's here to reveal. And once something is revealed to you, you have a choice. Pretend you didn't see it and continue sleepwalking, or respond to it and start walking with your eyes wide open. The truth is, this day might not feel like drama. It may not be loud, but its shockwaves will ripple out for a long time. Because the true rapture isn't a one-time event. It begins in a single moment of seeing, and it continues for every day that you choose awareness over avoidance. June 30th has shown you something. The rest is your move. Will you cover it up again with your old habits and excuses, or will you stay with the discomfort and let it become your greatest teacher? Remember, this being exposed is a gift. It's the start of genuine freedom. Because when you have nothing left to hide, nothing has power over you. This is what today offers. Not an escape, but an awakening. Not fear, but freedom. Not an end, but the real beginning. So be still, breathe it in, and let June 30th be the day you finally met yourself. Today is June 30th, and the signal has been sent. But the issue was never whether the signal would come. The real issue is, were you listening? The hard truth is that most people were not, and most people will not. Not because the signal is complex or hidden, but because it is quiet. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It moves with a gentleness that only stillness can perceive. But stillness is a lost art for most. On June 30th, the world carried on. People woke up, reached for their phones, scrolled through the same feeds, chased the same anxieties. And while their attention was consumed by the outside, the revolution on the inside went unnoticed. The deepest tragedy is not that truth is unavailable. The tragedy is that we are too distracted to receive it. We demand signs, but only the loud kind that rattle the windows and light up the sky. But the real signs, the real rapture, they appear in the space of a single breath, in a flicker of self-awareness, in a sudden, uninvited silence. Today, June 30th, was saturated with these moments, but most people were absent. They couldn't hear the silence over the noise in their own heads. They couldn't feel the shift because they were too busy running from the person they are. You see, the reason most people miss the signs is simple: they are looking in the wrong direction. They expect salvation to arrive from the outside, a voice from above, a sudden windfall, a public declaration. But life does not operate that way. Truth does not advertise. It only becomes visible when you are ready to see. And being ready has nothing to do with being perfect. It has everything to do with being still, being honest, being willing to just stop for one moment and look. Today, June 30th, offered that opportunity to everyone, but many treated it like any other day because they are addicted to motion, to noise, to reaction. They fill every empty space with a task, a screen, a problem to solve. They cannot bear to sit with themselves, and that is precisely why the signal passes them by. The rapture is not a detonation, it is a detoxification. It's the moment when everything that is not essential begins to fall away. But if you have built your entire life on the non-essential, then when the essential is revealed, you panic, you fight it, you run, and you miss the point entirely. On this day, June 30th, a rare portal has opened, a moment of truth, a thinning of the veil, an energetic shift that makes it easier just for today to see what is real. But the mind has to be calm to perceive it. And there's the catch. Most people have not trained their mind for calmness. They haven't practiced silence. They haven't practiced being present. So when the sign arrives, it's unrecognizable. It's like trying to see your reflection in a storm-tossed lake. The image is there, but the surface is too agitated. You need still water for a clear reflection. You need a still mind to recognize the sacred moment. Today is not the end of the world, but it is the end of the pretense. On June 30th, the authentic stands out and the false becomes heavy to carry. That is why so many feel a spike in anxiety today. That is why a discomfort is rising in millions of hearts. It's not because something is wrong, it's because something fake is dying and something real is trying to be born. But here is the critical part: you have to listen. You have to pause. This sign is not waiting for your schedule to clear up, it has already arrived. Your only job is to slow down enough to let it in. If you missed the feeling earlier, stop now, breathe, close your eyes for 1 minute. Ask yourself, what have I been running from? What truth am I afraid to see? These questions are the breadcrumbs that lead you back to the sign. Because the rapture isn't something that takes you out of the world, it's something that removes the world's illusions from you. But if you remain plugged into distraction, if you live in reaction, you forfeit the opportunity, you miss the clarity, you miss the shift, and then weeks will pass and you'll feel off balance and you won't know why. It's because the invitation came and you didn't RSVP. So don't wait for another June 30th. Don't ask for a louder alarm clock. Don't assume there will be a replay. The universe rarely repeats its most important messages. It speaks once, with perfect clarity. The rest is our responsibility. Today is about seeing what has always been there, hidden behind the curtain of your business. The sign came to awaken you, not to entertain you. If you want to see it, be present. If you want to receive it, be still. Most people miss the greatest moments of their lives not because they are blind, but because their attention is elsewhere. Don't be one of them. Use this day. June 30th is not a date. It's a doorway, and it won't stay open forever. You have time, but not a lot. Sit with yourself. Listen, feel what is real. That is where the sign is. That is where the truth has always been. And once you see it, have the courage not to look away. Today is June 30th, and something fundamental is shifting. Something most will not register. This is not just a new day, it is a new operating system for reality, a shift in how life gives you feedback. On the surface, it's business as usual, but underneath, the very rules of the game have changed. One of the most critical changes, effective today, is the speed of karma. In the past, the feedback loop was slow. You could act out of alignment, with carelessness or ill will, and the consequences might take years to ripen. You might not even make the connection. That time lag is over. As of June 30th, the speed of karma has accelerated. It is now almost instantaneous. What you project is what you get back, not in years, sometimes in hours, sometimes in minutes. You think the thought, you feel the emotion, you take the action, and the mirror of life shows you the reflection immediately. This isn't punishment, it's precision. Life isn't getting harsher, it's getting more honest. June 30th ushers in an era of radical clarity, and with that clarity comes the immediate echo of your own energy. If you move through your day vibrating with anger, with victimhood, with judgment, you will watch it boomerang back to you. Not from some distant force, but from the people you meet, from the frustrations you encounter, from the disruption of your own inner peace. And if you walk in integrity, in love, in clarity, you will feel that accelerated return as well. You will notice things just clicking into place. A sense of flow, a sustained peace. That's not luck, it's not chance. It is karma responding in real time. That is the new energy that began today, June 30th. This is why self-awareness is no longer a luxury for the spiritual. It is a basic requirement for a functional life. Because every thought you have, every emotion you entertain, every word you speak now has more weight. You are creating your reality at a much faster pace. If you are unconscious, you will suffer the consequences of your own creations. If you are awake, you will be empowered by them. This is the great divide. Before June 30th, you could get away with hiding your true intentions. You could wear a mask, you could fake it. Now, the energy behind the action is more important than the action itself. People will feel your truth, and the universe will respond to it. You might already sense this. You have a conversation, and the other person's reaction seems disproportionate. Why? Because the frequency you are broadcasting is being received instantly and amplified. This is the new vibration, and it launched today, June 30th. What does this mean for you practically? It means the time for pretending is done. The space for self-deception has vanished. You cannot keep planting seeds of discord and hope to harvest a garden of peace. The law of cause and effect is too quick now. You don't need a guru to read your energetic signature. Your life is showing it to you moment by moment. If you feel friction and struggle today, ask yourself, what am I broadcasting? What am I holding on to? Because that is exactly what you are getting back. And if you feel a sense of ease and grace, acknowledge it. Protect it. You generated it. That is the proof of your alignment. June 30th marks the beginning of a new, deeper level of responsibility. Not just for what you do, but for who you are being. You can no longer afford the indulgence of unconsciousness. You can no longer be careless with your inner state. The mirror is too clean now. Every thought creates a ripple. Every emotion sends a signal. You must become a vigilant guardian of your inner world. But this is not cause for fear. This acceleration is a gift. It means positive change is faster. Healing is faster. Growth is faster. If you are committed, if you are awake, this new era will be a profound blessing. What once took years of therapy can now be resolved in days of focused awareness. But if you choose to remain in blame, in reaction, in resistance, then yes, life will feel crushing because you are fighting your own reflection. Today, June 30th, is your chance to recalibrate, to see what your energy is actually doing in the world. No more hiding, no more waiting. Just look, the feedback is already there. If you want a different result, you must change the input. Slow down your reactions. Curate your thoughts. Stop trying to change others. They are busy dealing with their own instant karma. Manage your own. This isn't about control, it's about alignment. If something feels off, it is off. Step back, reflect, and adjust your frequency. Life is not punishing you, it is teaching you with immediate and undeniable lessons. This is the gift of this time. This is the wisdom of June 30th. Karma is no longer a philosophical concept, it is your immediate reality, and it's giving you the most accurate, real-time data on who you are becoming. Use it, don't fear it, align with it, and watch as your world begins to transform. Today is June 30th, and karma is speaking loudly. Are you listening? Today is June 30th, and on this day so many are still waiting for a savior, a guru, a leader, a new political system, a better world handed to them on a platter. But here is the great, liberating truth. No one is coming. No one is going to rescue you from the patterns of your own mind. The era of waiting is over. The era of looking outside for answers is finished. The solution was always and will always be inside. And on this day, the ambient energy is forcing you to finally turn your gaze there. The only path forward is the path inward. June 30th has made this brutally clear. The chaos of the world will only intensify. The distractions will multiply. The volume of information will explode. But truth will not be found in more. It will only be found in less noise, less chasing. The only real security now is your inner work. Call it meditation, self-inquiry, breath work, or simply silence. The label is irrelevant. What matters is the practice. Daily, consistent, non-negotiable practice. This is no longer a spiritual hobby. It is a tool for survival, not just physical survival, but mental and emotional survival. If you are not actively practicing inner stillness in these times, you are being swept away by the current slowly but surely. June 30th is not a threat, it is a cosmic wake-up call, a jolt to make you realize this truth. The external world is fragile, systems are breaking, people are on edge, emotions are volatile, but those who have built an anchor within themselves will not be tossed by the waves. That kind of stability doesn't come from the news, from the government, or from any external authority. It comes from within. You cannot buy it, you cannot inherit it, you must build it, brick by brick, breath by breath. Look at yourself with radical honesty. Today, June 30th, is a mirror. It is showing you all the places where you still depend on the world to define your sense of safety, your worth, your completeness. And the more you depend on the outside, the more you will suffer, because the outside is, by its very nature, unstable. It always was. Peace was never an external condition. Peace is an internal decision you must make again and again and again. When the world gets loud, you must get quiet. When people become reactive, you must remain centered. When the future seems uncertain, you must return to the certainty of this present moment. This is the inner way, and it is the only path that will provide sanctuary going forward. Not because a book said so, but because reality is demonstrating it to you now, unequivocally. On June 30th, you are not being punished. You are being reminded that the center of your universe must be your own awareness. Not your career, not your phone, not your social status. Your awareness. That silent, watching presence within you is your only true refuge. And the stronger your connection to it, the less the external world can hijack your state of being. People will ask, so what do I do? What project should I start? What should I fix? All of that is secondary. The first and most crucial step is to go inside, to sit, to breathe, to observe, and to do it again tomorrow and the day after, until it's no longer a chore, but your natural state of being. You will not think your way to salvation. You will not complain your way to clarity. You will not find the answers by running faster. June 30th is showing you that you must stop. Stop running from yourself. Stop talking over your inner wisdom. Stop reaching outside for a key that has always been in your own pocket. Even as the world becomes more chaotic, you can become more calm. That is your superpower. That is your sacred responsibility. But it is not an accident, it is a discipline. It is built through repetition, through the choice to return to stillness, even and especially when you don't feel like it. You will have difficult days. Days when the mind refuses to settle, when emotions scream for attention, when the body is restless. Those are the most important days to practice, because your peace is not tested when life is easy. It is forged when life is hard, and you still choose your center. June 30th is an invitation, a reminder, a signal flare. The world will offer you 1,000 different paths, but only one leads to unshakable freedom, the inner path. The path of honesty, observation, and alignment. And this path is not glamorous, it is not loud, it is quiet, and for that reason most will walk right past it. But those who walk it will find a treasure beyond price, a peace that cannot be disturbed, a clarity that cannot be confused, a strength that cannot be taken away. So today, stop asking who is coming to save you. Start asking how committed you are to saving yourself from your own distractions, your own illusions, your own fears. Everything you could ever need is already inside you, but you must be quiet enough to find it, you must be still enough to hear it. And June 30th is the perfect day to start. Because today, the energy itself supports this inward turn. The noise of the world is rising, yes, but so is the opportunity to rise above it from within. So sit, breathe, practice. Let this be the day you begin your true journey. Not the path of reaction, but the path of presence. Not the path of escape, but the path of inner mastery. No one is coming because no one needs to. You are already here. Today is June 30th, and this day is not merely a date. It is a final call but firm reminder that the time for procrastination is over. For years the message has been whispered, wake up. But it was easy to ignore. Life was busy. Distractions were plentiful. The prospect of facing oneself was too daunting. But now that whisper has become a clear, resonant tone that can no longer be unheard. The door to a new way of being is still open, but it is no longer wide. It is a narrow gate, and it is beginning to close. On June 30th, the universe is providing one last, potent wave of clarity. A moment to choose, a moment to pivot. But this is not an appointment you can reschedule. You cannot say, I'll start tomorrow, because the energetic tide has already turned. The opportunity is now. And every moment you wait, the current you have to swim against gets stronger. Many operate under the illusion that they have infinite time, that they can continue their old patterns, their unconscious habits and make the shift later. But June 30th has revealed an uncomfortable truth: their later is an illusion. The point of power is now, not next week, not tomorrow. Now today, when you ignore these internal signals, a heaviness sets in, an anxiety with no name, a sense of being disconnected, restless, confused. This is not a random mood. This is the feedback from your own system telling you that you are out of sync with reality. And on a high-frequency day like June 30th, that misalignment is amplified. The energy of truth is pulling you one way, but your resistance is pulling you into a state of pain. The reason the door is closing is not based on fear or punishment. It is based on the nature of truth itself. Truth is a forward-moving river. It does not wait. If you do not step into the flow now, you will be left on the bank, waiting for another cycle. And the next cycle may not be so gentle, because the longer you ignore the call, the louder it must become. And sometimes, a louder call manifests as a crisis, a breakdown, a chaotic event designed simply to get your attention. But June 30th is not about crisis. It is about choice. It is a day drenched in light, but only for those willing to look at their own shadows. Only for those willing to get honest about what is real within them. Not the curated version you show the world. Not the person in your social media posts. Not the persona you've perfected, but who you actually are when no one is looking and there's nothing left to prove. If you are feeling resistance today, that's the signal. If you feel emotionally turbulent, raw, or hypersensitive, that is the call. Your inner being is demanding an upgrade, and you can either cooperate with the process or fight it. But the choice you make today echoes. Small decisions compound into destiny. One step in the old direction reinforces a dead-end habit. One step in the new direction forges a new path. June 30th is offering you a path. A quiet, clear, and honest one. It does not promise you comfort. It promises you authenticity. It promises you depth. But you must be the one to walk it. No one can do it for you. This is not about being a perfect meditator overnight. It is not about fixing your entire life in one day. It is simply about showing up for yourself. It is about pausing, breathing, and declaring to yourself, I have been asleep, and now I choose to be awake. That single moment of decision is the key to the door. That flicker of awareness is the opening. You still have time, but it is finite. The longer you hesitate, the more the world's gravity will pull you back into the orbit of distraction, reaction, and unconsciousness. And the unconscious is a hazardous place to be right now because the energy is too sharp. It does not support avoidance. It does not reward spiritual laziness. It magnifies who you truly are, not who you pretend to be. So be honest. Are you listening? Are you present? Or are you still negotiating with your own awakening? On June 30th, the time for negotiation is over. The time for pretending you didn't get the memo is over. The memo has arrived, loud and clear. It's not coming from an external source. It's coming from inside you, from your body, from your breath, from your intuition. All asking one simple question: are you ready? There will be those who scoff at this, who say nothing is happening, who dismiss it as drama or fantasy. Let them talk, let them sleep. But you, if you are still with me, a part of you already knows this is real. You have felt the shift. You have sensed the urgency. You have heard the quiet voice in your heart that says, do not wait. Do not wait for life to get your attention in a louder way. It will. And when it does, it might not be a gentle tap. When you ignore the polite knock, life eventually kicks the door in. Not to punish you, but to wake you. But you do not have to wait for that. You do not need pain as a catalyst for growth. You can choose presence. You can choose reflection. You can choose stillness. That is the invitation of June 30th. A peaceful transition, if you are willing to take it. So pause, right now. Ask yourself, what am I clinging to that I know is time to release? What am I avoiding that I know I must face? What truth have I buried that is now demanding to be seen? These are not easy questions, but they are the essential ones. Because once the gate closes, it becomes much harder to find it again. Not impossible, but harder. And you deserve ease. You deserve alignment. You deserve clarity. But you must choose it. Now, June 30th is today. And today is the day. The day to come home to yourself. The window is open, but not for long. Step through it. Not with fear, but with presence. Not with panic, but with purpose. Because this, right here, is your moment.